29, day 2. Now, I'm sure you noticed yesterday, I have a great deal of passion for this quality. I don't see this being the role models that there should be. People always talk about bullying, and there's a lot of people that sell curriculums and sell things as far as bullying. We got to get rid of this bullying. You'll get rid of bullying if you develop compassion. If there's enough students in your school that are role models for compassion, the minute somebody starts bullying someone, somebody that's a compassionate role model is going to step up and say, no, 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 no. We don't do that. You don't pick on someone because they're small, or they're a different color, or they're a different religion, or they're different socioeconomic. That's the compassionate person. When you have a lack of compassion, you see what we deal with a symptom. The symptom is bullying. The problem is a lack of compassion. We don't have any compassion for that person that maybe doesn't have what we do. And that's why you have bullying. Bullying is not the problem. Bullying is a symptom of the problem, and the problem is you don't have any compassion for someone that's smaller, different color, different size, whatever it might be. Look at the story. Sadhu and the monk. Sadhu was a missionary to India. Late one afternoon, Sadhu was traveling on foot through the Himalayas with a Buddhist monk. It was bitterly cold, and the wind felt like a sharp blade slicing into Sadhu's skin. Night was fast approaching when the monk warned Sadhu they were in danger of freezing to death if they did not reach the monastery before darkness. Just as they were traversing a narrow path above a steep precipice, they heard a cry for help. Down the cliff lay a man who had fallen and was badly hurt. The monk looked at Sadhu and warned him not to stop. The monk believed that God had brought this man to his fate and he must work it out for himself. He hurried his step as he passed the man by. Sadhu replied, God has sent me here to help my brother. I cannot abandon him. The monk continued drudging off through the whirling snow while Sadhu clambered down the steep embankment. The man's leg was broken and he could not walk. Sadhu took his blanket, made a sling out of it, and tied the man to his back. Bending under his burden, he began a body-torturing climb. By the time he reached the narrow path again, he was drenched in perspiration. Doggedly, he made his path through the deepening snow and darkness. It was all he could do to follow the path. Though faint with fatigue and overheated with exertion, finally he saw the lights of the monastery ahead. For the first time, Sadhu stumbled and nearly fell, but not from weakness. He stumbled upon an object lying under the snow on the ground. Slowly he bent down on one knee and brushed the snow off the object. It was the body of the monk, frozen to death. Later, Sadhu would learn that the reason he had not suffered the same fate as the monk was that the body heat generated by the man he carried had probably saved his life. What was the quote by Zig Ziglar? If you help other people get what they want, you'll always get what you want. In this case right here, you help a man get to a monastery. You put him on your back, and because you have that body heat intertwined with yours, you live. Because you help someone else. You get rid of bullying when you're a compassionate person, and when you see the bullying begin. You're the role model for compassion. You're the one that steps up and says, no, we don't need to do that. Now, if you step back and allow it to happen, you show you have no compassion. You do not have any of this quality at all. When you write down a plus or a minus this week, if you see bullying or if you see something going on that shouldn't be going on, and you're not developing the quality of compassion, you allow it to happen. When you look at those great, great people, the 300 greatest leaders in the world, they asked Jackie Robinson, and I love to read about Jackie Robinson, as you've probably figured out. How could you take all those names that you were called, and people made fun of you and they called you all these names? How could that be? Why didn't you stand up and fight them? And he said, I wanted to be a role model for that one young black baseball player. See, he had compassion for the youth that were out there that could follow in his footsteps if he didn't fight back, if he didn't make a fool of himself. Those Indians, the Native Americans that played for Carlisle Institute, they never fought back because they had compassion for everybody that followed after them. You help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Now, which one of these two are you? Are you the monk or are you Sadhu? Would you pick the guy up and carry him? Well, let me ask you something. If you're going to pick him up and carry him, then you're not going to allow the bullying to go on in your school. When somebody begins that, you're going to grab that person they're bullying and put him on your back. That's compassion. And you need to put a plus beside compassion if you're doing that. And if you're not doing that, you need to be honest and say, oh, I allow it to happen. It's not got nothing to do with me. I don't do it, but I'll allow it to happen. Then it shows you have zero quality of compassion. Put a plus beside that today. Amen? Make it a great day.